Hey everyone. All right, welcome to the space. Hi. Let's see here. Well, we're looking at the eclipse, right? I figured that would be nice because there are 4 lunar ones this year and 3 solar, I think. But I wanted to touch on it specifically because the nodes have changed, signs, the Venus is in retrograde. Also, the moon is squaring Mars, and Mars is squaring Venus in retrograde, and the moon is in opposition to Venus. So that's a lot of internal world, right? But then we have the eclipse is in Sagittarius, so they say. It's 15 degrees, so I guess in sidereal, that would make it in Scorpio, right? So it's a lot. Don't quote me on that. I think I always get the math a little twisted there, but there's so much information. But the point is that it's very Scorpionic, like in ways of there's a lot of depth to this, and it is because there's an eclipse. We are really trying to clear something out, right? In a positive way, like a healthy way, you know? So, I guess you could, if you wanted to, this might be able to help you in what this eclipse will mean to you in a sense, although it's a little more intense now, again, with certain shifts. But in January, there was another eclipse. I think it was the 10th. So the beginning of this Gregorian year. Where were you? How are you feeling? If you were feeling really strong and right, that Capricorn energy, and you were feeling good about it, then feel you can tap into that energy too. So we're going to go through each sign. If I talk about the houses specifically, that is in relation to your ascendant. If you don't know that for some reason, you can just take it with a grain of salt, because it will apply to each one of you a little bit differently, of course, right? Plus, we're in Gemini season, so it could be, take it how you may. All right, so let's talk about this really quick. They say that it's 15 degrees Sagittarius. It's 23.5, right, in sidereal, so this would make it Scorpio. So let's read both, for instance, just to be, I heard, open-minded about it. 15 degrees Sagittarius. A large telescope pointing heavenwards. Beautiful. It denotes one who enjoys learning and even gifted with clairvoyance. Also a lover of sidereal studies. Very good. Now let's go back and see. 15 degrees. Scorpio. A round temple with a pointed roof. Maybe that's where the telescope lives. It denotes a person partial to the outward observances of religious rites, very superstitious regarding its mysteries. So, well, I guess you can use this information however you just pick that up, okay? Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, before we get into it. We could talk about what wouldn't be a good idea, but because the North Node is now in Gemini, we want to be really aware of what we say. Because that is what Sagittarius gets your thighs moving and puts you in your future place, right? What you think about, it zooms out there, right? It's your archer. So let's talk about what would be healthy choices. Things to be a little bit healthier with. Well, I guess the way that you use any kind of escapism, drinking, drugs, sex, money, whatever, using that more in a healthy way, right? Allowed to participate, I guess, if you want to dabble, but no using this as no crutches in this way, right? Again, last eclipse was Cancer Capricorn, right? And so we're supposed to learn that inner security in ourselves, be building that, and with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn last transit, that's really what we were all trying to do, right? Is build our own security so that we don't rely on that outside of ourselves too much. Really to be self-reliant overall, because that's what makes a really strong tribe, right? It's also a really wonderful time, especially with Venus in retrograde, to resolve any old feelings about any old relationships, especially anyone that you've had sex with or that you were married to or lived with that did not grow to your expectations, right? And I posted it on Patreon, but I feel like that Leonard Cohen, A Bird on a Wire, is a very nice song for forgiveness, right? And to really change our mind about it. You know what I mean? Change our minds, the way we think about it, the words we use to talk about the past, right? Or whatever it was, especially with Venus and the Moon and Mars, it's like you're trying to push it out. It doesn't have to be aggressive, but it is meant to be stabilizing, okay? So, let me take a sip of coffee. It's still early. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Let's go sign by sign, huh? We'll see if we can make it all the way through. 1 second. We'll do 7:45 as Sagittarius. So, if you're Sagittarius rising, this eclipse is happening in Sagittarius, so this is the house of yourself. This is you overall. What you realize that you have because of whatever you have no longer. And I see, again, speaking very positively of that. Let's see what your card is. Oh, the King of Cups. Wow. I guess because this is opposing your 7th house, it will be important for you to take a very high emotional position to the situation, right? Round temple, pointed roof. One of them is round, one of them is, this is feminine, and then we have masculine. Oh, I gotta shut off that whale pump. Can you hold on 1 second? Right, that's a pretty good example. I could have been like, man, talking smack about the well pump or the plumber that came, or I don't know, like the person that played the pipe in the first place, or why, who shoulda, coulda, woulda. But what does that, what was the, if we break it down, it's like, what is the issue? And then you ask yourself, well, can you do anything about that? And if you can, please do. And if you are not able, then I guess you have to ask for help so that you can get what you want. Yeah. We'll leave it like that. That's a good one. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, if any of you are still here. I always forget to mention this, actually, maybe because I want you to figure it out for yourself, but, because it's fun. But, because this eclipse is in Sagittarius, this would be for everybody, right? That's the collective message. Beautiful. Let's see here. Let's move along. Let's do 11 minutes. Perfect. Capricorn. Hi, Capricorn. If you were Capricorn rising, 12th house. I feel like what I said for Sagittarius is the same for everybody. Like that's almost all that needs to be said. Why don't we do a collective reading? You know, it's nice to be individual sometimes, but the reality is that we're all connected anyway, right? Everything. And I guess that can be seen in a really healthy way, right? Like Capricorn, it can, the pieces can fit together, right? They it's like Lincoln logs, you know, and it really makes a stronger structure. Or like those boat knots, when you pull the tension, it makes it stronger. You know what I mean? Regardless of the tension, it's stronger. It holds its place. Yeah, it is a collective reading, but I like that energy for Capricorn. Oh, thank you for inspiring me. Let's try it. Like, we'll make it collective, but maybe try to go along in ways of each energy. Does that make sense? Okay, so Capricorn just received theirs. That's all they wanted to say. All right, now we're moving into Aquarius. Oh, Aquarius paid a debt. Good. Good. There's something about Aquarius that really figured out about what we said with Sagittarius. Like, it's important to be fair, I guess, is what Aquarius is saying. It's important to be fair, and to know what you have and to give what you have. And I guess realize that there's a reason for everything, where some people get some and some people don't, or some people get some things at some times, or but only for a certain amount of time and in certain lives. I don't know. Like that's just kind of, Aquarius is just like, that's the way it goes. And that's okay. It's not a, that's the way it goes, and it's not. It's just, it's okay. I guess that's what Aquarius is saying too. You'll be fine. And if you don't feel insecure, if you don't feel secure about something, well, this eclipse for your energy is going through your 11th house, so this is your own wishes and desires. I guess this is a big thing about taking responsibility for yourself. And if you do that, I see that you succeed and you pay some sort of karmic debt, which is very nice. Very nice. Okay. Oopsie. Pisces. You don't ever have to, you know the feeling of winning? Not I won to prove anything. Not I won to ensure that you lose. But that you just feel really accomplished. And specifically because you're a water and fire, like you no longer burn yourself emotionally. Like you, how do I see this? So sometimes you're very difficult to harness the energy to come out. Sorry, I'm not Pisces in that way. Well, I guess you just know when something is right. You know when to leave. And you take I guess you have, well, this is interesting because it's an eclipse. It keeps showing me what you are doing and should do. I mean, I guess in a general sense, Pisces, I can't even go in here. It's so fascinating. I don't know how much time just passed by. I guess it would be better for you to be silent. I see. Be silent on this eclipse if you can. You could run the risk of having a disagreement or someone trying to prove something or whatever, but there's no need to waste your time there. Just be quiet and figure out what you're still battling a little bit and how you can be a little bit more creative about how you go about resolving things so that you can succeed. And how do you feel about success? Okay. What are you trying to succeed in? Why do you want to succeed in it? Have these kind of conversations internally. And I actually see over the next like 5 months, keep these conversations going. Okay. And don't waste your time talking about things like old conversations. That's why I guess we're trying to eclipse it out, especially anyone who you've just, it was sort of like you dated them or it was a casual love affair or, could even be your mother and father in there, but just kind of, it doesn't matter anymore if you don't want it to. It doesn't have to affect you energetically and emotionally anymore, your heart, right? Using more of your wisdom. Aries, I guess, has a test of faith. How do I see this card, Aries? You can't do anything about the past. Except maybe change your mind about how you remember it. I think you need to replay a memory, like I was mentioning with Sagittarius. Say there's a painful situation that you're still working through, a lesson that you know you're completing, right? Which brings you, in essence, closer to your higher self, and I guess as well as closer to God, right? We're going up. But fear is heavy, right? And faith is light. So I guess a good question is, how can you change your mind about it? Again, replay some sort of memory where you go in and you solve the problem, right? You know what it is, and you know how it played out, and then you go in and you sort of you change what happened. And I guess the place that's painful is the place where you felt like you needed help, and didn't receive it somehow. Right? You couldn't save yourself in some kind of way, or you wish. But again, this is the past. We're learning the lesson. You're trying to close this out. And I see that you can if you just... And I almost see... What do you call those things where you like a deprivation tank? Memories around water. Holes in the boat. I don't know. Maybe there's like... I don't know. I want to be careful with my words. So, let's move along. No, you know what? Everyone's always so quick with you like that, right? Because you feel like you're supposed to be so strong, so we didn't even get emotional there. Did you see that? It almost did. It was right there. But then it didn't go there. And you have to go there. And I want you to know that you're safe in that space. Okay? Because really, all we take with us is our memories and the way we view life. And again, fear, guilt, all that, shame, resentment, remorse, whatever, it's all, that's heavy. And what you're trying to do is fly high. But you gotta unbind your wings to fly. I also see don't have sex on that day for some reason. Like the healthy, you want to be healthy with your, I don't know, there's just something about it. You should be in your deprivation cage or whatever, and then figure out how the fuck to get out of there. Wow. Aries, I love you. Okay, moving along. Taurus. That's interesting. Okay, it's not supposed to be in reverse. Good. Oh. Capricorn tells Sagittarius what to do. Oh, this is interesting. Virgo tells Scorpio what to do. Taurus tells Aries what to do. Or that should be the way that it is. Cool. The way it could be. I guess for Taurus, the energy is remember where you, again, like Aries, wherever you've been stuck before, just realize that you're not there anymore. I do see wherever Aries, Taurus in your chart, it's what scares you. Or where you use your power out of fear sometimes. I see Taurus, please use your wisdom. And I see also be selective in your words. Because Taurus actually can only tell Aries what should be done to be the most appropriate through the filter of Aquarius. Cool. So Gemini has the star. Well, that's awesome. These are the first two majors to come out too, the Hermit and the Star. Wow. With the North Node there, I see this so positive. So positive. Please pay attention wherever you have Gemini in your chart. What house is it? If you don't know, look up what that house means as a general sense. And how can you apply that energy, again, in the most helpful, appropriate way. And realize that you'll arrive in that place that you desire, specifically spiritually speaking, which helps a lot, right? Gives a lot of faith. When you realize, like Aquarius said, that all things happen for good reason. And although it may strip us of certain things that we don't get to have for certain amounts of times, right? We have things, we don't have things. It happens all the time. You know, I just ate the last of the carrots. There's no more carrots. It's like, it's okay. There's more carrots. And if I can't go buy any, I can grow some, you know, or find some wild carrot, you know, whatever. But with a smile on your face, you know what I mean? And I do like that you may start also being able to express yourself a little bit more emotionally in a, like, clean out an emotional communication between an old space that when there was something in your life that you, well, you just realize where you are, Gemini. And you're actually not even concerned without, I heard, be not concerned with how other people's egos look at you. And appreciate the humbleness that has come from release. Trippy. Let's look at Cancer. Hold on. I am completing a great cycle. I'm learning all about myself. I'm building and sketching and figuring it out. And there will be more positivity out of my mouth. And it's like, whistle while you work. Right, complete different. What did we talk about? The sacred songs. Really, please, I don't know, download that, write it down, think about it, make a note, sing more, please. Whistle while you work. It doesn't matter if you're building an empire or building a birdhouse or sweeping the floor, cleaning up your psyche. I heard it doesn't matter what people want from you. It's about what you are creating. And also something about what you will now allow through the wisdom that you've gained, probably the North Node in your sign the last 2 years. I also see you shouldn't, I heard there's a new rule where you do not eat 3 hours before you go to bed. Not necessary, better for your body. I also see every 3 hours you should take a break. Get some sunshine. Also, the cycles of threes, Cancer, how does that work? Is it 3-year cycles? Is it every 3 weeks? Is it every 3 months? Like, what is your, what are, I guess, because we have 4 lunar eclipses this year, and I see you're building a great structure. So just be aware of that. Fascinating, Cancer. Let's do Leo. Ooh, 10 of Cups in my coffee. Actually got it wet. I love when the cards mark themselves. That's a beautiful card to be permanently marked, the 10 of Cups. This is actually really good. This is feeling a lot better about where you came from. About maybe closing out some very deep, I heard, chapters of your family, your children, you as a child, releasing yourself from that. And it's good for you to feel that way because you rule the heart, because Aries really needs it, which is the head. Okay, and these two things have to communicate in an appropriate way, like to get together, you know, the masculine and the feminine, they need to have a conversation to be able to balance something out so that emotional security can be had and you can actually receive the kind of healthy emotions from other people that match the good parts of your family, but not the parts that hurt. We'll keep going. Good message, Leo. Virgo. Virgo says there's 2 scales on the board. Aquarius and Libra both have scales. I guess Libra says that if you've been paying the Aquarius debt, then you are rewarded. And we are clearing something collectively that's really awesome. And the cool thing is the hard cards here are not big, huge cards. They're little tiny things that that represent what we can do inside of ourselves to make a huge difference. And I guess that's also what Virgo is saying through Libra into Aquarius. Wow. Also, be honest. And have no judgment, because I guess only God can judge. Should. I don't know. Take it how you want. Let's see Libra now. The world. Yeah, awesome. Libra looks to Virgo. Libra tells Virgo what to do. Which I guess is the way that the stars go. This is a Libra, this is a huge cycle completing. Good. So positive. This is a very positive card. I heard your 3rd house makes a big deal, so does your 9th house. I guess that's also Gemini, Sagittarius, right? Fascinating. Be accepting, Libra, right? You already know. You already know exactly what it is. And I see that you have, it's plain. It's plain. I heard it's perfectly, pleasantly plain. With a smile on your face. Okay? It happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. You didn't die, it didn't kill you, right? So you're fine. You're just fine. And you learned. What have you learned, right? Maybe you want to go over what you have learned the last 3 years, just like Cancer. Right? To go take a gander back there of what's changed, what's happened. And last but not least, Scorpio. Finally, Tower in reverse. Wow. Wow. Hope I don't run out of time. I really think that you're starting to figure out well, no more blame, right? It doesn't do you any good. You turn this around, you go right back into Saturn. So I know you've had to learn lessons the hard way. But it was meant to show you again how strong you are and how not to live life with blame or guilt or anger or resentment or rage, even suspicion, right? Distrusting, all of that, because those are hard energies. They're necessary to know so that you can release them, but they're not meant for you to hold on to them, right? If that experience is there you've had to experience that so that you would no longer carry it with you and keep repeating it, right? That's why sometimes things have been harsh, and that's okay. Because let's remember, a tough lesson, a hard lesson, we don't forget. An easy lesson, a lesson that's real nice, like that takes years to figure out that we didn't even appreciate it. You know what I mean? But really, it's more important to know that, I guess that's really what Saturn is about too, is where you finally you can look at times that maybe, or situations or people or places that caused you pain, and it no longer pains you to connect to it. Because you know what the lesson is, because once the Tower turns around, we go back to Saturn, which if we learn the lesson, then we jump to Aquarius, to the stars, which gives us great wisdom and releases us from maybe what we've been connected to, or where we came from, or just not asking so many questions, because again, some questions don't have answers exactly, or maybe the answer isn't just here yet, but it always shows up, you know. And I guess being open to that's really good too. Wow, I had no idea how this was gonna go. Cool. Alright, well, I don't want this battery to crap out. I love you so much. I really hope this was of service. Please enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this time. And be healthy in your choices. As much as you are able. Right? Talk to you later. Peace.